this is Lee, welcome back. So in this video we're going to be continuing to build our app, our tweet focus app, or our focus tweet app, whatever you're deciding to call it. So in this video we're going to be adding the functionality to allow the user to sign in, to make elements appear and not appear when they're logged in, and hopefully get to adding the functionality to allow the user to send a tweet using this box. So that's the aim for this video. So to start with, what we're going to do is make it so that this box appears when the user's logged in, and this box, the Twitter button, the login with Twitter button, only appears when the user is logged out. We're also going to make it so that this button, when they click it, logs the user in. So let's start with that. I'm going to click Start Edit Workflow, which has taken me straight to the Workflow tab, and on here I'm going to select Account, and we're going to use, so you've got a couple of options here, but we're going to use the one that says Sign Up, Login with a Social Network, and we're going to select Twitter. And we have this option because of the work that we've done in the previous video to set up our connection with Twitter and the Twitter API. If we hadn't done that, we wouldn't have this option. So that's selected. And then here, I'm going to select navigation and ask Bubble to refresh the page after the user has logged in. The next thing I'm going to do is make it so that this button only appears when the user is logged out. So we do that by going to Edit, open this box here, and then we're going to select where it says this element is visible on page load. We're going to uncheck that, and then we go to the conditional tab, and then we're going to add a conditional that says when current user is logged out, and we're going to say this element is visible. And remember to click this checkbox here. I always miss it and wonder why things aren't working, and it's often because I've forgotten this box here and have to go back. So click that, and then the next thing we want to do is make it so that this element, our group tweets element, only shows when the user is logged in, because currently these both show. Before I do that, I want to drop this tweet box just down a bit more to give us a bit more space in our group, because I want to add an image. So I'm going to add an image, and you can see as I'm just about to draw my element here, there's this red box around, and it might be helpful to know that this is telling you that you're going to draw the element within this group, which is what we want. So I'm going to add the image in here, and this is going to be a dynamic image, and we're going to say insert dynamic data, and it's going to be current user's Twitter picture. So it's going to show the current user's Twitter picture, and then I want to make another element which is going to be text. This is also going to be dynamic, and this which we're programming in, and this is going to be insert dynamic data, and it's going to be current user's Twitter name. So you can see that shown there. And then the last thing for us to do, as I mentioned, is to make it so that this box only shows when the user's logged in, because you don't want to be showing this information when they're logged out. So what we do again is we untick this box. This element is visible on page load, and we're doing it to the whole group. So it's everything. It's going to affect everything in the group: the image, the name, the Twitter name, the tweet box, and the tweet button. So uncheck that, and then we're going to have a condition which says when the current user is logged in, this element is visible, and we put a checkbox there, again making sure we do that. I'm just going to go back and make sure I've done this correctly, because I sometimes get things the wrong way round. So yeah, when current user is logged out, this element is visible, and when the current user is logged in, this group with all these elements is visible. So let's just give that a try. We've set this up so it should log the user in, just reminding you of that. I'll show you where that is again. start edit workflow. So it's going to sign the user in with Twitter when the login button with Twitter is clicked, and you can hover over these workflows to see which element it affects, and then let's give this a try and see if it works. So it's just loading our app, and I'm going to click login with Twitter. I'm going to allow it to authorize the app, and the user should only have to do this the first time they log in. In future, it will just do the redirecting like that, and you see it's refreshed the page, and perfect. It's showing my Twitter profile picture and my Twitter name, and then I've got the Twitter box ready for me to tweet. So that's that part of the setting up of the app done. The next thing we want to do in this, try and do in this video, or we're going to do in this video, is make it so that you can post a tweet to Twitter. So let's go ahead and do that. So the way we're going to do that is the actual bubble, ignore the API connector, the Twitter plugin by Bubble doesn't allow you currently to post to Twitter, and it can be a bit more complicated to set that up, especially getting deep into APIs and things, especially with Bubble. There are a couple of plugins that allow you to send tweets from Bubble to Twitter. There's one, I'm just going to show you that. There's one called Pathfix. So yeah, there it is. So these two plugins can allow you to do that, but we're not going to do that for what we're doing in this video. We want a very simple app, and I also want to make it very simple for you to just learn how to get, and that is, we're going to use this plugin called Social Sharer, and there's no keys to put in. You can just install this plugin and you're ready to go. And then all you need to do, once you've installed this plugin, in the plugin section, go back to your app, just close this and click the post tweet button and click edit, and then again you're going to add a workflow to that button. So I'll click start workflow. You can see it's adding this workflow to that element, and in here we're going to select plugins, which is this one, and we're going to click share to Twitter, and in here we're going to put in insert dynamic data, and the insert dynamic data is going to be multi-line input A, and then which is that Twitter box's value. Actually, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to put value on here, for the sake of doing things correctly. I'm going to rename this to be called Tweetbox. So, and I'm going to put the placeholder as something like write your tweet here. And then going back to the workflow, so again I can click this button, start edit workflow. It's going to be Tweetbox's value, so the text is going to be Tweetbox's value. Now the URL with this particular plugin you can't leave blank, because it will just show as null when it does. So I've got a workaround for you, and that is that I'm just going to put a little emoji in there, which I've got from Twitter, in there like that. So I've just cut and pasted that from Twitter, from the Tweetbox in Twitter, just a bird emoji, and that's going to show up in the tweet, and then that's pretty much ready to go. So let's preview this again, and you can see we're still logged in, and this is our example tweet. And then all you do is click post tweet, and you can see it's coming up with a tweet ready to post. And that is pretty much our app up and running. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.